Aloha and how's it? Today we're talking all about the three LinkedIn mindset shifts every expert must make moving into 2022. More on that in a minute. So, how was your weekend? We had an extra large swell here on the North Shore of Oahu, which means there were 25-foot waves on tap at Waimea Bay for those expert big wave surfers. Since I'm nowhere near that skill level, it was more of a spectator sport for me than one I can participate in yet. So if you've never seen someone ride a wave that big, check out Instagram and type in big wave surfer to see some really amazing clips. Okay. Enough surf talk. And now it is time for Mondays with Mindy. This is a weekly show, normally at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. We're a little bit early this week, where I talk about all things LinkedIn pipeline, promo, and profiles, what I call the three P's of LinkedIn. For those of you who have been asking, I have an exciting announcement to make. Yes, it is official. I am starting a podcast called The Mango Effect, launching on April 4th. So stay tuned for the details because it's going to be a completely different experience where you'll get to hear me talk in your ear about topics that are less like LinkedIn centric and will give you a little bit of a sneak peek into what I believe it means to live a lifestyle by design. And there'll be some pretty juicy topics that relate to entrepreneurship, health and well being, surfing, relationships, and creating your own lifestyle by design. So, have questions about LinkedIn that you want me to answer? Be sure to like this post whether you're watching live or from the replay. Leave your questions below and I'll answer them after the show or on a future episode of Mondays with Mindy. Let's get to today's topic. What are a few LinkedIn mindset shifts that experts need to make if they want to make 2022 their best year yet? So, a lot of times we think about mindset, we're like, oh, that's kind of like woo woo, or it's a little bit airy fairy. Like, really, do we really need to have this conversation about mindset? That is the question. So, we've all heard about how our mindset determines our direction. And if you haven't heard that, think about it. Okay. When you think about something, it usually happens. And kind of getting into a little bit of like the secrets or that woo woo stuff, not 100% sure about the whole secret and manifesting thing. But what I have seen is that when I do put my mind to something and I do start taking action in a direction, that things seem to happen. So, we've all heard about how our mindset determines our direction. And when mindset is our ally, we either achieve the goals we set for ourselves or we learn the necessary lessons to achieve those goals in the future. And think back to some time when you have navigated a shift and you either I've heard some of the people I follow say you either get what you want or you get what you needed. It's kind of that mentality when it comes to mindset. The problem is that our mindset can also spark confusion or it can paralyze what I like to call our action taking muscles. So I've seen this happen on LinkedIn far too frequently, where experts are a bit intimidated by the platform and they're not exactly sure how to do it right. So they really do nothing at all, which is not helpful, right? They hope they get enough referrals to sustain their business. They may send out a few connection invitations sporadically, but they usually don't pan out. They lack the confidence necessary to thrive on LinkedIn. And when it comes to LinkedIn, you do need that confidence. You do need to understand why you're doing what you're doing and how it's going to contribute to your bottom line. When experts come to LinkedIn, they have to put their best foot forward. This is not the platform where you can dance to a trending song and pull in new business inside of your DMs. Okay. If that's what you're thinking you can do on LinkedIn, that is not going to be helpful. On LinkedIn, your number one priority is to grow your business, to attract more leads, to reach out to more ideal prospects, to get that next dream job. If that is not your priority, if one of those things, you're hearing those things, you're like, I don't think any of those are my priority, then don't waste your time on LinkedIn. Go to another channel. If you just want to entertain people, if you just want to have fun, if you just want to play with Reels or TikToks, go to those other channels. LinkedIn is not the place for you. LinkedIn is the place where professionals get real about connecting with other professionals and helping one another from that business perspective. As an expert, your intention is to help your ideal customers, your team members, your followers get from A to B as efficiently as possible. And if your people are on LinkedIn, this means you must learn how to use LinkedIn like an expert to reach them. And each of us experiences these if I can talk, mindset shifts that either accelerate or decelerate our momentum towards the impact we want to make in our careers and our businesses. So think about it like we're either making progress towards or we are slowing down and going backwards. So if you want to keep that momentum forward, then you need to pay attention. You need to make sure that your mindset is aligned with the direction you're going. It seems like, oh, that should be simple. But a lot of times we get pulled or sidetracked, or we feel like nothing is working, or we're like, I've been doing all the things and nothing is happening. I guess LinkedIn isn't for me. So it's really getting our mindset right first before we activate our strategy. So, with LinkedIn as one of your primary channels to communicate and engage with your people in 2022, it's high time that you pay attention, evaluate your mindset to be sure you are making the most of your time and energy on LinkedIn. We're going to talk about just three of the most powerful mindset shifts that every expert must make on LinkedIn this year so that we can make more of an impact on the lives of those we're on a mission to help. So, we're going to be a little bit less tactical today and a bit more into the woo to help you identify and understand what's possible for you and your business on LinkedIn in this new year. So, are you ready? Let's do this. This is going to be a fun one. I've really given this a lot of thought. So, I'm excited to talk about this today. So, aloha for those who don't know me. My name is Mindy Rosser. I am the founder of Mindy Rosser Marketing, and I have a group program called the LinkedIn Accelerator for those who want to go from 0 to 60 on LinkedIn with their profile and their network. You are invited. So, if you're watching this, you are invited to the next LinkedIn Accelerator Masterclass happening on January 19th. The details will be at the end of this live, so don't worry. I will also put the link in the comments below so you can check it out and register. I help superstars who feel they are the best kept secret in their industry to become the go-to visible expert in their niche so they can get that next opportunity, grow their business, and scale their impact using LinkedIn. In this live, we are going to talk about why your mindset around LinkedIn is causing you to miss out on new business opportunities and not actually growing your business, and how you can make 3 mindset shifts to be more profitable in 2022. Are you ready? Let's do this. Reminder to go ahead and like this post, whether you're live or watching from the replay, to give it some social love. All right, so at the end of last week, I attended an incredible 2-day workshop with fellow experts and entrepreneurs inside James Wedmore. Google him if you haven't heard of him. His Business by Design Next Level program. And we talked about all things advanced sales messaging. Suffice it to say, it blew my mind. It's not the concepts that were foreign, but the application and understanding of what sales really is. That's the secret. So it really got me thinking, as an expert, you are also a salesperson. I'm going to say that again. As an expert, you are also a salesperson. So no matter how much you enjoy your craft, whether you like designing programs, getting results for your clients, designing solutions that solve big problems, if you cannot sell and speak the language of your ideal clients and prospects, you will not have a business, period. Like you have to be able to sell yourself. So even if you are in a career, maybe you're, just trying to climb the rung within your company or your organization, you still need to be a subject matter expert. You still have to sell yourself within the organization to get to that next level. You are always selling yourself. The mistake I see so many experts like me make is that we have this really horrific perception around what selling is all about. So, what's the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word sales? Like, pause for a moment, sit there with the feeling. What's the first word that comes to mind? Is it like slimy or spammy or pushy or annoying or repetitive? Whatever that word is, it's usually not positive. I would say very few people have like a positive reaction to sales. When I'm asked about my first reaction to the word selling now, it's fun. Like when I think of selling, I'm like, oh, that is so fun. I get such a rise out of selling. So you may think I'm joking, but it took a lot of inner work and a mindset shift to get to this point. I spent the first few years of my career working mostly as a subcontractor or working inside organizations because I was petrified of selling. Like I loved marketing, but I hated selling. Like I felt like I would just freeze. I didn't want to talk about selling. I always just wanted to be seen as a marketer. But something changed for me. I started to see the overlap between the two and how that great marketing is actually selling. So, great marketing is selling. You're always selling an idea. So, everything you do professionally can become selling. So, what do I mean by this? Okay, for example, you write a post on social media, whether pick LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you like to post. You get people to take action by liking or commenting. That's selling. You're getting them to take action. So you share that you bought, for example, you share that you bought blue pens. Like I have these blue pens. Show you, blue pens for writing your goals. And three people follow up with a DM to ask you, why are you choosing blue pens? And then they let you know that they just ordered some blue pens themselves. Yes, this happened to me recently. I shared about blue pens and people were following up saying, what's up with the blue pens? And every offer, every word, every piece of content, every DM, every email, this is all selling. So, how you do it either makes or breaks your business. We've all seen it done wrong. We can all think of examples where it was just horrific and we hated the experience. But we can also think of times where, you know what, that sales experience was pretty good. Like I was hoping they would sell me. So on LinkedIn, it's an art form that you need to learn. So if you want to do social selling, if you want to use LinkedIn to grow your business, to get more prospects, to get leads, to build business collaborations, to get your next job, you have to learn how to do it well on LinkedIn, or you're going to be wasting your time trying like a bazillion tactics that don't actually lead to growing your business, to getting sales conversations, or landing that new dream job. So, how do we shift our own inner perception of sales? No matter what I write professionally, I think about what I'm selling in that very moment. Okay, so I'll take you inside my head. When you can make a distinction in your brain that everything that you are writing, everything that you are saying, you are selling. And I don't mean in this salesy way. I don't mean I'm pitching offers all the time. I'm not trying to get people to sign up for a masterclass all the time. Yes, I am going to promote webinars that I'm doing, events that I'm attending, but a lot of times selling is really just communicating your ideas. So when you can make a distinction in your brain, you are going to notice that your writing becomes more intentional. Your speaking becomes more powerful. The effect that you have on your clients, on your prospects, on your family, on your friends, it all becomes much more intentional because you are better able to communicate in a way that benefits everybody involved. Okay, so let me give you a few examples here. For example, when I send client emails, I mean, I'm working with clients and they've already hired me, like the sale is technically already done, right? But every time I send a message, I'm reaffirming through a check in or a follow up on a task that they made a good decision to hire me and that they want to do more business together. So that's selling. I literally think about that too as I'm writing my check in emails, as I'm thinking about the customer experience that they are having in working with me. I want every touch to just reaffirm that they made a good choice. And if there's for some reason I dropped the ball, I did something that needs to be fixed, then I'm going to mention that and not hide it. I'm going to tell them straight up what is going to happen and how I'm going to make it right. So all of those messages are selling. And it's making them feel good every time they see a message or an email or a check-in from me, like, oh, Mindy's got this covered. We're good. So I'm always selling my clients. I'm always selling my program members. Another example is for a lot of you I know have come to me and you are trying to scale your business. So you are running group programs, online programs, courses, memberships, these types of things. Every single announcement that you post in your Facebook group, every single video in your course, every single email announcement, you are selling your program members on your process, your program, how this is going to help them. And if you don't believe that, watch what will happen to your program members. Watch what happens when you just kind of discount that as like, well, they already bought. So as long as they have a good enough experience, it's okay. No, it is not. You are selling them. You are getting them to buy into your way of looking at the world, your perspective. They didn't just buy your program because they want some how-to tutorials. They bought your program. They bought your course. They hopped into your membership because they like the way you think. They want to hear you. They want to be sold to over and over again. The programs that I'm a part of that I enjoy the most are the ones where they are touching base all the time, where I get to peek into their mindset and how they think. When they are really good at communicating, if something comes up, They make sure to make things right. They surprise you with bonuses. These are all parts of selling, and good programs and good leaders, good experts know how to do this well. Okay, so another example, LinkedIn posts. So let's take it to LinkedIn. When I put my words together in any type of social media post, this is me trying to elicit action from my audience. So this is selling, no matter whether it's just an idea I want people to simply think about or ponder, or it's a masterclass I want people to attend, or I want them to subscribe to my newsletter. All of that is selling, but it's in a beautiful way. It's not in a way that feels icky to the recipient. It's actually helping people. It's helping them reach their goals. It's helping them to see the world differently. And true leaders are really good at doing this. And it's a skill that we want to continue to develop over time. One more example, online events. Okay. So you may think that you are simply hiding in the audience when you go to an online event. You're like, oh yeah, my camera's on. I may be on Zoom, but your name is there, right? Your name is there. So you are actually selling by just being an attendee at an event. And you can either add insightful comments, hop into a hot seat, communicate what's worked for you. All of those actions, that's selling right there, right there. I mean, I follow up with people that I go to events. I take screenshots of people that are inside of like a community or a really great event, and I reach out to them on LinkedIn. I mean, these are all ways that we are connecting, that we are selling, that we are encouraging each other. So we want to change the way we think about the word selling. Communication is selling. Every time you communicate, you're selling. When you get over the fact that everything you communicate is actually selling your idea, you're going to notice that your energy around social selling on LinkedIn will shift. It's very, very powerful when you notice that it happens. You no longer need to hide. You don't need to be timid and hope people will just find you or get referred to you. You no longer need to be afraid of being perceived as salesy. We all sell in our professional and personal lives all the time. So, what's the problem? When we realize everybody's selling all the time, every single DM, that's a sale. It's all about just getting people to take action. Okay. So to succeed on LinkedIn and actually grow your business, get to that next rung in your career, attract your potential customers, get a book deal, land a spot on that interview show. You must learn to get comfortable with selling yourself, your ideas, and your services. So let's talk about how to begin. Let's talk about these three mindset shifts. So the first one is belief in your message. So you have a very powerful message and a driving purpose that has allowed you to become the expert you are today. You wouldn't be an expert in something if you didn't like it at least a little bit. So, what is that message? What is your message? Like, what drives you? What makes you want to get up and do what you do? I have found that clarifying my message into what I learned from a really good book. I should have brought it here so I could show you. Stephen Kotler's The Art of Impossible. Excellent book. And he talks about something called the MTP, which is massive transformative purpose. So this is what I use to drive me personally and professionally. So basically, it's a statement that just sums up why you do what you do. What's like your mission and purpose in life? So here's mine. Create content that has a positive impact, inspire people to self actualize in life and work, creating their own lifestyle by design. And then a fun one here be a philosopher. I can never say this word. Be a philosophophile on a mission to protect, love, and play in the ocean. So those are my three MTPs, and I kind of tie them all together into one. So when I read this statement every single day, I remind myself why I do what I do. As part of my mission, I must sell my ideas to those people who find them interesting, to those who have questions, to those I know I can help. This is part of my driving purpose. And I realize that I must use those words to live out my mission. So if I'm afraid of selling, I'm never going to live out that mission. I'm never going to inspire people because I'm keeping it all to myself. And so to me, it is really, really important to communicate that message, to create the content that people want, that inspires people, that helps people to create their own lifestyle by design and do the work that they love. So when you can clarify what your mission as an expert truly is, you will feel a sense of duty. I feel like it's like sense of duty is kind of like responsibility to live it out. This in itself allows you to shift your mindset towards embracing the power of selling. So when you feel confident that you know what your mission is, you know why you are here, you know why you're an expert in that field, you are going to be able to sell with confidence because you know you are helping people. You know this is driving them to take action on something that they don't know how to solve, that you have figured out a way to solve and inspire them to do that. So I challenge you, create your own MTP, even if it's just one thing like, okay, my mission statement is this, or maybe you want to revisit your mission statement. Really think about your purpose. If you do, take me up on this. I'd love to hear about it. Like, I love hearing other people's driving purpose or their mission statements. When I see those on people's LinkedIn profiles, I get really excited. I'm like, oh, you know exactly what it is. And sometimes it takes a lot of iterations to get it completely right, where you feel like, this resonates. That's okay. Take as many drafts as you need. All right. So moving on to number two, using your voice to communicate. So too many of us try to imitate other experts in our field or other industries because we're unsure where to start. We don't trust our own voice. Have you ever felt that way where it's like you sit there and you're like, I don't know if I should say it like that. So and so says it so much better. To succeed on LinkedIn or anywhere else for that matter, you have to cultivate your own unique voice, and it's going to take time. So you do have to learn the principles of good communication. So you can use other people's templates and scripts as a starting point, but you cannot stop there. We don't want to hear your version of so and so's great email or social template. We want to hear you. We want to hear what you think. And it may take a bit of practice and some wordsmithing and getting feedback to get to that point, but that's okay. You've got to start somewhere. But great communication comes from the heart. And you've got to practice vulnerability first. And this is something I've taken from the incredible Brene Brown. I'm sure most of you have heard of her. My husband and I have been reading Daring Greatly and Rising Strong recently. We've been listening to those books together. And it sparked a ton of conversation around communication and vulnerability, what that looks like. How does that affect us as professionals? How does that affect how we show up in our personal lives, with our friends, with our family? It's one contributing factor to my decision to start the Mango Effect podcast this year, which is going to be a precursor to my book with that same title the next year. So it's talking about the stuff that really drives you, getting below the surface level marketing sales and marketing jargon, getting below that. Like, let's take that a little bit deeper. Yes, using the right words, using calls to action, following people's formulas for offers. And all of these things are very important. But really, what's important is you want to get to the heart of it. You want to communicate with your own voice, communicating your beliefs and your mission, how you can help people and really inspire people to take that action that is going to transform their career, transform their life, transform their business. So it takes time to get there, but your efforts will pay off. So be patient and keep using your voice and practice using your voice to communicate in whichever medium, whether it's some people are really great at podcasts, some are video live streamers, some like to blend them all, some are great writers. Whatever your medium is, start using your voice. All right. And number three, building new professional relationships. So LinkedIn is the number one place to start building your network with other professionals and experts. Okay. I'm just saying it straight up because that is the truth. Instagram is okay for some industries, but it doesn't have that business person feel to it. So when you actually spend the time building and growing your network with the right people whom you can help to reach their professional goals, it's a win-win. They enjoy connecting with you, you enjoy connecting with them. And in an era where we are no longer getting together like in real life as often as we used to, LinkedIn has become even more critical to our business success. So those who have adapted, who have shifted, like, okay, I can't just go grab a coffee with people in my area. I actually have to expand beyond that. You are taking those steps towards building the right relationships and learning how to build the relationships the right way on LinkedIn by believing in your message, communicating that message with people. You are going to be able to grow your business more sustainably over the long term. This is not a quick win. This is not like, okay, I'm going to send out a bazillion connection invitations. I'm going to get a lot of new business and I can just be kind of done, or I'll do it sporadically. No. This is something that you do over time and you work it into your flow. And we already know this. It's like things that we need to be reminded of sometimes. But your net worth is directly related to your network. We've heard that before. It's a pretty famous saying. And I have seen this in action and continue to see it proven to be true for my LinkedIn Accelerator program members, my clients, my colleagues, and for myself. When you invest in people and those relationships and deepening them, not just trying to get a quick sale, not trying to get a quick win, not just trying to have a sales conversation or jump right to it. When you are actually interested in other people and supporting their work and collaborating, working on projects that matter to the both of you, it's very powerful. And it has this effect and this energy that also kind of infuses all of your LinkedIn messaging, your social selling efforts, and your business in general. Shifting your mindset to become that confident go to expert in your niche all begins with your LinkedIn profile and your network. Like when it comes down to it, your profile has to be dialed in and you have to have a good network. When you have a strong belief in your message, you can use your words to communicate effectively and you'll be better able to grow that LinkedIn network. Okay, so we talked about selling today, a lot about selling and what social selling is. And selling is just communicating. We talked about belief in our message and how powerful our message can be, getting clear on that message. So when we communicate it, it comes out and people understand, like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And that infuses your marketing and sales messaging. Then using your voice to communicate. So not hiding, making sure to speak up, to talk about things that matter to you, and to really develop and cultivate your own voice. And then building those professional relationships and continuing to grow your network. Okay, so I know that was a lot for today. So, what additional questions do you have about mindset shifts and using LinkedIn? Leave them below in the comments or shoot me a private message. I'm happy to answer them. And if you are looking for that extra edge to get you started on the right path with LinkedIn to make 2022 your best year yet, register for the next LinkedIn Accelerator Masterclass. I know that's a long hyperlink. I will put it in the comments below right after this. We will discuss the big changes on LinkedIn in 2022 and exactly how to make LinkedIn the #1 source for new business opportunities or landing your dream job this next year. So I will see you next week on Mondays with Mindi. Feel free to leave questions or comments below, and my inbox is open if you want to message me directly. Mahalo. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.